hold on, see. Why do you celebrate? You must have something to celebrate. Now, Cuba, for a very long period of time, we're not celebrating Christmas. They didn't see the need to celebrate. Today we are seated here. Today is a holiday. We know that it's estimated that every holiday costs the state some 60 million Ghana cedis. This is a country that needs so much money. You talk about Kwame Nkrumah. At the time we fought for independence, we said we wanted to manage our affairs. And Kwame Nkrumah is noted for the famous, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. He said there's a new African.
Yeah.
What I want you to think about today is whether the black man has been able to manage his affairs. Whether the Ghanaian man who fought for independence 65 years ago has been able to manage his affairs. We fought the white man and said, enough. We want to come and govern our own country and transform the lives of our people. Have we transformed the lives of our people? You see, when you talk to the Ghanaian and you say, oh, let's go back to those we started with, they are quick to tell you, oh, no. Look at the Korean War. South Korea came out of the Korean War. At the time South Korea came out of the Korean War, at the time we're getting independence, in the time of Kwame Nkrumah, by 1960, thereabouts, our GDP per capita, so if we're to divide our GDP by our population, it was $490. Right. South Korea was 491. Now pay attention to these figures. By 1980, in the early 80s, Ghana's per capita income had reduced to about 400. South Korea had about what? 2,000, over 2,000. Today, their per capita income is in excess of 30,000. We have now reached 2,000. And the thing we talk about, I mean, what saddens me in this part of the world is that, we will talk about, let's compare ourselves to other parts. At the time of independence, Ghana was arguably the richest nation in sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah. Today, we rank 8th, and we are happy. That's who we are. You see, our people say when you compare yourself to a dwarf, you would always be tall.
No, Winston,
you hold on. Look, from there up until now, what have we done for ourselves? We will talk about, and I see people say, Kwame Nkrumah built this factory, built that factory. Okay. Today, do you see those factories? Do you see them? The factories we pride ourselves of having built in the past, where are they? Where are the factories we've talked about over and over and over again? Some of those factories were sold and they became churches. Kojo has lived in England. He will tell you how people are converting churches into other things. We are converting our factories, we're converting our industries into churches. That's the sort of people we had become. Look, we run at a point we became the success story of the IMF. Yeah. That Ghana's economy was able to, improve from an inflation of about 123 to somewhere around in the teens. Only for the World Bank country director to leave this country and tell us that sometimes they're not even telling us the truth. Because it's just like you're playing with a little boy and you want him to be excited. That's the sort of situation we find ourselves in. So you ask yourself that question. Have we been able to manage our affairs? The evidence is there for all of us to see. Today, go around this country. I have been going around this country. After 65 years, I was in Hohoe in 2020. What the people told me was, every time there's time for elections, governments will go and pack bulldozers on the Eastern Corridor Road from Asikuma going, pretending to construct. And after the elections, they go. Look, I used the road yesterday. And you ask yourself, is this Ghana? We're priding ourselves of having constructed a lot of roads in this country. The Eastern Corridor Road, I remember using it in 2017 on the 3rd of June. I remember the date very well. When I was going there, when I was going to pick Achibu, warned me to actually use the other side because of the poor nature of the road. Okay. What has changed? It's been 65 long years in our life. What has changed? The factories we had, I remember Courage Kwashigan saying, my first radio was Akasanoma, Ghanaian manufactured. Today, Belgium makes more money from cocoa than we, the producers of cocoa. You know the lazy man's approach to our lifestyle. We are the second largest exporter. Second largest exporter of cocoa. Belgium. So every year we will go and borrow 1.5 billion Ghana cedis, dollars in cocoa syndicated loan to come and do what? To come and buy cocoa. Belgium makes in excess of $6 billion from the chocolate, that's even just the chocolate industry from cocoa. Chocolate industry from cocoa is able to earn a country more than $6 billion, and the Ghanaian today is crying that the economy would come to a halt if we do not approve a levy that would give us 6.9 billion Ghana cedis. Multiply the Bank of Ghana's own figures, that's $6 billion by 7. It gives you what? 42 billion Ghana cedis. More than we would spend on our interest payments, more than we would spend on capital expenditure.
Okay.
What have we become today? We have become a country that thinks only about our partisan interest. We have become a country where before you get the least position, you have to belong to a political party. So people are no longer appointed based on merit, but they are appointed because of loyalty. A country whose constitution gives too much power to a president. Too much power to a president that the president can abuse it and nothing would happen. That's the country we have become today. Today, a president can actually write a letter to a minister directing the board chairman to fire a CEO. Today, a government official can call, a petroleum company and say, reduce it. They would reduce it. That is who we have become today. So when you talk about being able to manage our own affairs, how well have we managed those affairs? In a country saddled with debts, as of November, debt to GDP 78%. In a country where the leaders who promised us that they were going to come and make this place a heaven in 18 months, after almost 6 years, join us to complain and tell us that, you know what, let us be humble in knowing that things cannot change overnight. I thought politics was the art of the possible and the attainable. I thought politics was giving us choices, giving us alternatives so we would make a choice. And I thought people put themselves up for elections because they have something to do for this country and not to enrich themselves. Unfortunately, we have become a country that has borrowed in excess of a public debt 344 billion Ghana cedis. And when you ask us, what do you have to show? We begin to suffer. We begin to look around and see, this one, that one. That is what we have become today. In a country where we are losing so much money at our ports, you ask yourself, who benefits from the losses in this country? Who benefits from the wastage in this country? Because if the people we have put in authority, and you see, let nobody deceive you. When we talk about this country, Ghana, we always talk and say that, let us also look at ourselves as a people. Yes. I have not put myself up for elections. I have not told all of you that vote for me and let me transform this country. Let me change the destiny of this country. Because I do not think that that is where I am best suited. You say you want to do it. Why don't you do it? And so we have become like the man who always reveals in his past. He's happy about his past. He never thinks about his present because he knows his present is bad. That is the country called Ghana. We always look at the past and we always compare ourselves to dwarfs and say we are tall. Because the truth is that we have failed our people. We have failed our ancestors. Those who fought for us to gain that independence. wherever they find themselves today, would not be happy with this country called Ghana. Today, in this country called Ghana, you've seen it. Apart from the poor roads, every system of ours is not working. And there's been a reference to a Ghanaian non-system system where corruption thrives. We steal from the state. People that are in place, taxed to protect the state, are rather ripping the state off, stealing. And this is what we should be proud of? No. This is not what we fought for. We did not fight for independence to just remove a white man and put a black man there, and the black man performs poorly. We deserve better than we find ourselves. Unfortunately, the black man has not been capable of managing his own affairs. Today, Ghanaian students in Eastern Europe would prefer to stay there than come to Ghana. Today, Ghanaian students cannot get admission to pursue courses in their own country, have to resort to traveling outside, changing foreign currency to go and study. I end on this note. I met the South African director, CEO of the South African Tourism Authority. He said, tell me everything, every sector, and I will tell you the potential of tourism there. I said education. He says educational tourism. Build the best institutions. People from other countries would come to study there. When they do, you earn foreign exchange. I said health. He says build the best health facilities so that our speaker would not have to travel outside all the time to go and seek treatment. So that our politicians would not have to travel outside all the time to go and seek treatment. How many Ghanaian politicians have not died outside this country because they went out there to seek treatment? That's health tourism. So everything you want to do, the developed nations, they're forward thinking. Unfortunately, we are like the proverbial man who stands in ants, okay, and trying to get rid of ants. We are the man who weeds with his mouth, expecting that he can weed around the whole place, but he stands at the same place. Next year, we would come and say, oh, we have performed better compared to our peers. And who are those peers? We will resort to percentages and say that is a means of analysis. We forget that there are nominal figures, and we forget that there is no better percentage than the lifestyle and the well-being of the ordinary Ghanaian.